me 1 second. Here you go. I shared it to you.
All right.
Y'all ready? Let's
Yeah,
freaking
let
do
me
this.
see if I can add it to the screen. Hold on.
You ready? All right, let's do this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, this looks crispy, bruh. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, they're not doing this.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Oh, what the fuck? God! No.
This is where we live. What's that?
The fence.
What's inside?
People.
Oh!
What's outside?
Oh! No!
Monsters.
Oh my God, we gotta get this
By the time the
thing.
sun comes up tomorrow.
No! Not the astronaut! What the fuck?
You're gonna lose.
Oh! Yeah, I'm drooling. Oh my God.
Don't you know what he did?
Ow! No! 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 Oh!
You swore.
Get the fuck out of here!
Wow. Wow. All right.
Crap.
All right. So we
going
finally
back or we going back? What are we doing?
we finally have something to talk about.
Okay.
Oh,
So hope you're all having fun. Yeah, I think we are. Okay, so let me see. Let me get rid of this.
Oh, it's finally over. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing that.
I'm busy, Brian.
Or do you have the trailer set up, Sam?
I can. Sure.
Or do you want me? I'll just set up here.
I've got it set up. I got it ready.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing this. So
Okay.
before we start it, I just want to do this because, folks, we're gonna have to. Fuck, man. We're gonna have to talk spoilers. We just gonna have to. We're gonna have to talk spoilers. But
Yeah.
But before we do so, I want to give people who are watching this, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day while watching this. The panel is apoplectic, the feeling that I'm feeling right now. And for those in the future, thank you so much for spending time with us. But I want to give you a non-video game spoiler review thoughts of the trailers. Number panel, I think the panel was a blast for those of us who could keep up with it, because I know that was a while to start the trailer before the panel. Immediate thoughts on the trailer. Jor-El, I'm going with you again because you're the one that's seen it the most, I think, out of all of us. And just again, in a non-spoiler way, what are your thoughts going without the trailer? And then we'll go to Di, and then we'll go to Sam, and then I'll give you my thoughts, and then we're gonna play that motherfucker again.
Okay.
Go
Okay.
ahead,
Spoiler-free thoughts. I thought it was a pretty great trailer, to be honest with you. God, what can I even say? With season 1, I'm probably in the minority where I gave it like a 7 out of 10, which is pretty low for me. It's good, but if the game is here, the show is sort of here. Great show. Well, a show that I enjoyed, at least. So season 2, I've been like, oh man, because part 2 of the game is kind of
Spoiler free, Jor-El.
yeah, I'm aware. I haven't said anything spoilers, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of changed my life. So I don't know. I thought it was great. Move on from it.
Okay. Okay. Di, what did you think of it?
Dude, I don't even know where to start.
Like I almost I'm having kind of that moment that people always use like Endgame and Infinity War as a descriptor. Like I wish I could experience part 2 for the first time all over again. And so I'm wondering, like, how are people that have no idea, that somehow they haven't Googled anything, they haven't looked up any spoilers about the game, how are they absorbing that trailer? Because to me, like, damn, I'm having like kind of like both sides, right? I'm looking at it with a new lens of like, wow, this is kind of like experiencing it for the first time. But on the second hand, it's like, shit, I know where that's from. Ooh. But what got me the craziest was the spores thing. I was like, fireflies are spores, and I feel like Ellie in that moment is also having that moment of like, wait, those don't look right. And so the fact that Craig like confirmed like we're stepping into that direction like officially, that's neat. That's going to be really cool to see. But yeah, no other notes yet because I only watched it once. I watched it once right before talking to you, so I got to watch it again.
We'll watch it again. Sam, spoiler free.
Same.
There it is.
Same.
That's all.
Yep.
Let's start this up. I'm not gonna say. There's no way for me to not spoil it. What are you talking about? Man, let's go.
Yeah.
You saw me. You saw me. So that's how I felt.
I'm kind of sad I missed it.
Yeah. Go rewatch it when you can.
Rewatch. Yeah.
Let's see. Before we get to any comments down, I'm gonna add it. And Jor-Els, you ready?
Fuck.
Yeah. You know, I've already seen it multiple times, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Play it.
And we already reacted to it, but yes.
Play it, Sam.
Wait, is Busy coming in? Busy, are you coming?
Is Busy supposed to be here?
Nah, he's 5 minutes away. Nope. All right, here we go. Here comes the trauma, everybody. Yeah.
Oh, boy. This was crazy.
You okay?
Right there, that shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're going this way.
Oof.
This is where we live. What's that?
The fence.
So crazy.
What's inside?
People.
What's outside?
Monsters.
By the time the sun comes up tomorrow.
Oh shit! I just realized what that was.
You're gonna lose.
Don't you know what he did?
God, no. God. And that scene right there, I know who that was.
You swore.
Oh, bro.
All right.
Okay.
So are we gonna go through like moment for moment here, or what are we doing?
Okay. Before we go through the moment, fuck. Okay, so last warning. I can't be any kinder or any more sympathetic this way. That I'm like, last warning, y'all. Spoilers. Like hell, I'll put it right now in the comments that we are talking spoilers. Like, please.
You need like a little banner on the screen or something.
I know, right?
Yeah, like, please, man. Like, come on, like. Okay. Spoiler talk. This is the second time you've seen it. How are you feeling?
Well, yeah, like I just said, I just realized that there are some other things that I noticed. I didn't notice the first time around, so I'm already like, I even though I know the story, as much as I am familiar with the story and how much new stuff there is obviously going to be, I think this is it. I'm not watching anything else. Like I cut myself off with anything, with any series. Like when Daredevil was doing all this stuff, after the first major trailer, I was like, that's it for me. So
Same.
I'm gonna keep myself fresh. This is it. But yeah, the can I say it? Are we spoiler central now?
Yeah, right now
Okay.
I put it in the bottom right there. Right now I'm gonna
Yeah.
type it into the comment section that I'm
Perfect.
like, I don't know how much more I can warn
The-
people to be like, we're talking spoilers.
The space shuttle. I just realized that the space shuttle thing is there, and I was like, wait, dude, that's gonna wreck me. That entire scene's gonna wreck me. Everything's gonna wreck me. Actually, I'm very curious how they're gonna, but yet still no Lev and Yara spotted.
That was what I was gonna get into. There's no way
Yeah.
they can't introduce them
Mm.
in this season in some capacity, that's why I was curious why they didn't show up on stage. But maybe it's just so many new characters they didn't want to overwhelm everybody. And
Yeah.
to me,
I
that
thought-
is a clear indicator that leads into the third season.
Same.
That they're going to be more of a, and rightfully so, because there is the transition period in the game
Mhm.
that leads more into them anyway. So
Mhm.
it's to be expected, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Fully agree. Yeah.
I should have done a subtle layout to give you the moment. But thank you, Di. Okay. You've been waiting for an hour. Release it, brother. Let it out. What do you got?
Man, I still don't really know where to begin. I mean, it's a pretty strong trailer. I guess the things that stand out, I guess, I guess the Dina and Ellie moments stand out. Like when it's them dancing in that hall, it quite literally, even down to like the color palette and the lighting, it literally looks of the game, which is pretty impressive. There's a sustained moment where Tommy is like lighting some bloater, I guess, with a flamethrower. That's great. Shots of Jackson are really strong. The VFX is really strong. Maybe even stronger than season one. It looks really well polished, actually. What else can I say? I guess I'm just curious how they're gonna pivot this whole Abby thing, because I've only just seen still images of Kaitlyn, I guess is her name. I'm not familiar with her. I've never seen her. I've never seen her, at least to my knowledge. I have not seen her in anything. So I'm really curious how this like small, kind person is supposed to become Abby. That'll be intriguing. I'm curious, like what about her specifically, because they had to have looked at hundreds of people. It's like why was she the one? I'm curious about that. I don't see it, but at the same time, I wouldn't say like I don't think this person can do it. I'm just very curious why she was chosen of all people. That'll be intriguing. Like why not go with God? What's that? What's old chick from what's old chick from the Twilight movies? Kirsten something Stewart, is that her name? Okay, she was. What's the movie she was in recently? Love Lies Bleeding.
Love Lies Bleeding.
Okay, whatever. The muscular chick,
Katie O'Brien.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Sure, but it's like, why didn't they like go with someone like that? It's very bizarre that they sort of went with like this normal, kind of unassuming person. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. I'm a little bit concerned. Again, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know her work, but
you gotta. If you're familiar with Kaitlyn's work, you would get it. I think because she's incredibly good at conveying trauma and anger, and she can cry but furiously. Like you saw it in the first teasers. When she turned her head. And she had that look in her eyes, and she's got this way of being like really cold. Because again, I've said this before on the show that Kaitlyn was my first choice for Ellie originally, and then I didn't even know that she had tested for Ellie before for potentially the movie. But now that at first I was like, Abby, and I said the same thing as you. I was like, I kind of wanted somebody that fit the build more. But once I put that sort of understanding aside and really thought about it, because like, yeah, she's in this other thing. I think it was a series or a movie. It's on Netflix called like Unbelievable. And man, she is really something else when it comes to conveying emotion. I was like, okay. And then so I could see her actually, even though she's not there physically, she can fill that space emotionally, which is, I think, something that some of the other actresses maybe maybe that's where they lacked. That's probably where they lacked. They couldn't bring that part of it. So I'm kind of confident. I'm confident.
Yeah, I guess maybe her build maybe doesn't matter in light of her actions, you know. So
yeah. Well, it's kind of like what I think Neil said in a recent interview that her build in the series isn't as important because in the game it's kind of like you wanted somebody to measure up to Joel, right? Like to kind of give you the gameplay, which is like, okay, that's a respectable answer. I get that, and I think it makes sense. But yeah, maybe we just don't see the physicality as much in the series as we did in the game. I guess, you know, maybe there's not that physicality anymore. So
yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, if I didn't know if you know that, but like that's something that they immediately got off the bat. They're like, no, she's not gonna be buff. It's a different interpretation of Abby. And I think it's so weird my relationship with that character, because from that point of view, I understood it. It was almost the anti version of Sarah Connor for me from T2, where she had built herself up almost like a Terminator to stop a Terminator. Abby did that in the game,
right?
For reasons. And to me, I think that's why they're playing more with the regular version to make it look like, oh man, she could easily come off like Ellie. And they're very leaning into the two sides of the same coin iconography idea that they have for their store. So that's the aspect I go for. Samuel, talk to me.
Yeah, no, I think that they selected her because of her acting. I think they wanted to bring a different layer and a depth to Abby that unfortunately people that played the game may have missed just based off of the trauma. Truth be told, a lot of people would not, and refused to even connect with Abby in any way, shape, or form because of her actions in the game without spoiling too much. And I think that because they have more time to really play, they can have an actress truly be that character too, but convey everything what that means look like from the push behind it. And I mean, from a physicality standpoint, I'm looking at one scene. I'll show you guys it real quick. Where is it? Here. Can you share that real quick?
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys remember this scene in the game, but there was a scene in the game with, I forget the name of the group, and I can't remember. Wasn't it Abby that was cornered by a whole bunch of different people in the dark in the same exact scenario?
So the group, the faction that co-owns Seattle, if you will, they're called the Seraphites. They also have a nickname that's almost like a what's the term? Xenophobic term, I guess, for them and whatnot. That they're also called the Scars. And there's a scene like this in Seattle where Ellie first encounters this group and sees how what's the right term, how much they like knives and how much they're interested in body anatomy. But yes, to echo what you were saying, yes, at one point in the game, Abby does encounter them and is put through a test, if you will, of meeting them.
Yeah, because it was like when I was watching the scene, I was kind of like, it's either two different perspectives. Like you said, the first time when Ellie sees it, or when Abby's going through it. And I'm curious to see which this is going to be. But I think that they're going to find ways of not just showing how strong Abby is mentally, even though unstable, willing to go through with anything. But I think that they're going to find ways of showing her physicality. And not just that, from Kaitlyn's standpoint, she looks a little bit bigger from a shoulder standpoint, she actually does look a lot bigger than she normally is. Even in the last movie that she was in, it looks like she's been working out. So I'm not really sure, but I think that their point was to have somebody that could truly embody the character more so than the physicality side of it. I get the aesthetics of it, but at the same time, it may cause the same exact effect as the game, which was so distracting. More people had issue of how she looked and what she did with her actions, and they made fun of that, the continuous route of the whole game. No matter what, how well the character actually performed, it didn't matter from people's perception. So I think that plays a role in this. But I think that there are so many different questions that I have, because I don't know. At this point, this is not a linear story. This is non-linear. This is just like the game, in my opinion. That's the part of this I want to have a conversation with you guys, because this is taking place in so many different points. And I am very concerned because there's a specific moment that we know. You can share this part right here, Ronan.
Yeah.
This moment right here, we know when this takes place. But how in 7 episodes are we going to get here already? Like, I really, truly have no clue. I was like, they haven't done a linear storyline well since I think the first beginnings of Era, in my opinion. There's very few storytellers that can do that right. But I'm not knocking them. I believe in them. But I was really hoping for a linear story. I wanted to go through the 5-year gap. I wanted to give time for these characters to breathe and then lead into what this is going to be. But I don't know, this scene right here, as soon as it played out, I was like, God, this is where the pain begins. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, these are definitely going to be some chunky episodes time-wise. So it's possible, but I feel like them taking like a non-linear route was kind of probably had no choice. I mean, the game is so huge. There's so much ground to cover. You almost inevitably would have to go a non-linear route, especially because how many episodes is it? Was it like 7 episodes? Jesus. So
yeah.
Seriously?
It's not a lot of time on the clock.
No.
Yeah. So I'm expecting 1.5 to almost 2-hour episodes if they really want to get into this much stuff. But then again, like,
right?
It's like how they're really playing. Then, if that's the case, then they're really playing with structure. And I think that's something that that's probably a bold move on their own. They're like, okay, we're gonna have to like mess with structure and see how that turns out.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 episodes is really short.
It's really, really short. Well, and then you even see like Dina and Ellie in the subway, like you see that as well. And then like, obviously there's a theater portion with Dina.
Yeah.
And then which is I guess would be the mid-city, or when they're in the houses with Jesse and Ellie too. Like, or that might be the theater. And then it's like, oh shit, which part of that story are we talking about? And again, we still haven't even seen Yara and Lev in any of that. So it's like, holy shit, is it possible that they may have even dissected the day 1, 2, 3 even more than in the game, and they're gonna jump around like crazy? But I don't know how they're gonna do it.
I wouldn't be surprised. And that's something I'd like to ask him that one day if I had the opportunity. Is like, okay, you have to structure the story of part 2. Map it out as much as you can, and then you have to decide, okay, what's season 2, what's season 3, and potentially what's season 4. And then it's like, where do you break it off? And then you have to analyze it to be like, is that a smooth tale to tell in one season? Because again, as much as right now we're going to talk about the scenes that they showed us, they dare show us, it's like, where is it going to cut off? Because then we have to wait a whole year to be like, yo, we have to get to that point. Which tie us to that, and then it'll lead all that into another point if they go forth with the season 4 that they've been hinting at further down the road.
Now, do we think there's the slightest possibility that they'll do a double season this year? Not even double, but like the minute that season 2 ends, that they're like, The Last of Us season 3, January 2026. Like, do we even think that that's even the slightest possibility? They'll immediately announce it, or do we think it's gonna?
I mean, it's definitely gonna have to come out like relatively soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would imagine something like that. I know Craig was like throwing out like, oh my god, what if we get canceled? But like
there's no way.
It's not getting canceled. Like
No.
I don't even think it's possible personally.
Most subtle way of saying, motherfuckers, watch this season. Like watch it. Like we're gonna need.
Oh, y'all talking about people. Well, so okay, I'm gonna ask this question. This is a real question. If the inevitable will happen, how do you think people that aren't gamers are gonna actually emotionally react to it?
Oh man.
Because the thing is, we know we've been through it. Either you were spoiled before the game came out, or you played the game, and either way, the trauma still happened the same way. But imagine, like your mom or your cousin or your uncle who've never played the game, they experienced this. Are they going to feel the same exact betrayal? Like, are they going to be able to conditionally deal with the trauma after the fact? And if they go the route that the game goes in telling Abby's story, that same trajectory, and Ellie's same story, what's that going to look like?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, there's no denying that it's going to be. Well, this is assuming. I guess we're operating under the assumption that it's done accurately to the game. So if we are operating under that assumption, because that's the only way that would work. It won't work any other way. It would like upset people, but there's a difference between doing it in a way that's like, no, that kind of sucks. Really like that guy, and then doing it like the game. If it's like the game, again, there's no doubt people will be traumatized. I don't think that would lead to the cancellation of a upcoming season or seasons.
No,
I think that's over the top.
No, I know. I hear what you're saying, but the reason why I bring that out, and I'm gonna shut up after this. There were people that I know playing the game said, "I'm turning this crap back. I will not continue this, and I will not support Neil or Naughty Dog ever again."
Sure.
Straight up. Some people finish the game to hate it. Like they played it. So I'm going back. That's all.
But the game
gonna happen.
But the leaks. See, I wasn't around during like the leaks. I was unaffected, so I was able to process the story and like the way that it was intended to be processed. Like a lot of people jumped ship. A lot of people did that literally just strictly from the leaks alone. Like a lot of people are just like, you know what, I'm out. Just from the leaks alone.
Crazy.
Probably. God, it's hard to put like a number on it, but it felt like as if, like in hindsight, like hundreds of thousands of fans were either like on the fence or just completely checked out.
Right. Well, I mean, that's exactly why they're acting the way they are at South by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got to be so careful because, like, I don't know, like maybe this is aging myself a bit, but when Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out and they killed Gwen Stacy, and people that did not know. From a 1970s storyline that she dies. She very much dies. And they were traumatized by that film. They were like, why would Sony shoot themselves in the face like this? I can't believe they killed their leading lady. And then they were like, they're not going to get a third movie. And it didn't get a third movie. But that was Spider-Man, right? It's like a different landscape. Beast. And it's not gaming and the severity of like Naughty Dog and gaming fans, let alone
and the game was very well received critically. Very well received.
Yeah.
Way more than
critically.
Spider-Man 2. Yeah, correct.
Right.
I mean, there's still a lot of fan love.
Yeah.
But we can play semantics with that all day. That's a very like Last Jedi situation where like the haters of Last Jedi pretend like there's only 3 fans on Earth that love it. It's like, guys, let's like at least be realistic. But again, there's no doubt that it's traumatizing. There's no real way around that, unless the execution was like sort of meh. But it seems like they're trying to. It seems like honestly they're trying to do worse in the game. I could be wrong in that regard because they did. They did. They did confusingly say that like they're trying to tone down the violence from the game, which is a bizarre sentiment. It's like I was like, wait, what? You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But you can't really tone down that moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna have to happen. Yeah, either way. I know you have to go.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you so much for taking the time. I want to share this moment with you. So, folks, before you go, folks, that's it. We're talking spoilers. Space shuttle, museum, get the fuck out of here. I want to hear, did I do okay? Are you kidding me? You're welcome, kiddo. Fuck me sideways. Holy shit.
I can tell you, Ronan, but I don't think I can say it on the stream.
That's fine. That's fine. You tell me, you will talk later, but
yeah.
You know how much.
I'll tell you guys, just not on the stream too. Just not on the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how much
it's gonna be great.
That day that we met was a cool moment, and one of the blessings this franchise has given me is another friend in life. So thank you so much for taking the time. Please plug your podcast, plug anything you'd like to.
Yeah. Marvel MCU versus comic book podcast, Stark Contrast, STRKCNTRST on all the things. We just dropped a new episode today. We're talking about Daredevil, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I am wearing my Toulouse like sweatshirt in that video too, because I was hyped for today. But yeah, check it out. And then hopefully I'll come back on here and talk to you guys soon about the show. I'm really excited.
Yeah, you're gonna be best. I'm calling you back for that.
Good seeing you.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
see you later.
Endure and survive.
Endure and survive. Bye.
Okay. I need to let it out. How the fuck are they already teasing the museum? How the fuck? How are they?
Because the ninja's gonna die.
Well, first off, I think 7 episodes is out. How many episodes was season 1? I can't remember.
9.
9. Okay. Yeah. Shorter than season 1 sounds like that doesn't make any form of sense to me. But I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that Christopher Nolan is seemingly, anyways, trying to tackle the whole of Homer's Odyssey in one film, which I just started reading. And I'm like, bro, are we sure? So I don't know. I guess if there's a will, there's a way. But I think 7 episodes was unwise, unless. I feel like that's unwise. Maybe I'm missing something.
The only way I can see it going is if they add on episodes each other season. Like, okay, this is 7. We're gonna do 9 in season 3, and then we're gonna do 11 in season 4, just to have a good chunk of getting the whole story. That's the only way I could see them doing that way. And I think they wanted to see how this one turned out first, because they said at one point some episodes might rival movie length. So. I don't know. I don't know how it feels.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Jor-Els, do you have a Threads account or no?
I was just about to say I'm not even really sure what that is. Is that for Twitter?
It's an offshoot of like Instagram. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't even specifically know what that is. I'm sure I've heard of that vaguely, but I don't know what that is.
It's all good.
So no.
It's all good. I just wanted to just add more, advertise the stream more, and I didn't want to leave you out without a tag. But okay.
Sure.
Okay, so there's this shot. I need to show it.
Okay.
Hold on. Where? Damn it. That's not it. Okay.
I need to start.
Okay. So there's a shot, and hopefully Sam will set up later. There's a shot of a little girl who I'm willing to bet is a Seraphite. She's holding a hammer. I shit you not. I think that's the hammer that Abby's going to use. And it's the same hammer they've been teasing in the posters. And it's the same one that they first introduced in the games to showcase how Abby can be lethal and whatnot. I think that's the hammer. And I think, again, weird, super nerd, like telekinetic thing. I remember hearing a story of how Frank Darabont wanted to showcase where the grenade from season 1 of Walking Dead came about with Sam Witwer and how he was the soldier that became a zombie, a walker, if you will. I'm willing to bet they're probably going to tell the story of that hammer and how it goes from one Seraphite to a wolf and Abby, and how, you know, something that can build houses can also tear and kill anybody apart. That is super nerdy, and I'm like kind of like embarrassed just I just like put it out like that.
The hammer thing is a interesting theory.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, man.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's not there, damn it. But yeah, what else can we say? Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I didn't even catch the astronaut flashback until like the second or third watch. I didn't even notice it.
You didn't spot it?
No. I mean, well, respectfully, there's a major difference between watching the trailer on the stream versus like just watching it sort of like raw, direct from me pulling it up off stream. But yeah, no, I definitely did not notice it on the first watch. But I wasn't really looking for, I don't know. I wasn't looking for Easter eggs or anything on the first watch. I was just like, does this look good? Yes or no?
Yeah.
But either way, that's pretty intense that they're going to be covering that. But at the same time, like I've been saying, some people like shell shocked by this. It's like, obviously they're going to hit the biggest highlights from the game, obviously. So maybe not too shocking. Maybe more just emotionally wrecking than like I'm shocked this is happening, I suppose. I'm just really hoping that they hit the mark, I guess. It really concerns me that somehow we're going to pull this off with less episodes than season 1. Seems a little bit crazy, if you ask me.
Ambitious, yeah. I want to go through the comments. Thank you so much for anybody who's commenting below. I know we've been rambling, but we just needed to let some stuff out before we do with comments. So let's talk to Keyblade Master Jeffrey. He says, I'm going to say that I didn't like part 2 for let's just say a few reasons, but I think the show might do things better than the game did. That's all I'll say. Cool. What's up, Taladia? If you're still watching, ¿Qué pasa, hermano? What the fuck? This is epic. Yes. I know. Spoilers. Yes. For anybody who doesn't know, we are talking spoilers. I can't. If people go back and rewatch this, I'm like, I made it plain as possible. He says, I think it'll work out better than it did in the game. In my opinion, it seems like the story for 2 works better for TV streaming, in my opinion. Hugh Heavens said that was me. I finished it.
Team
JVS. Oh no. That's what I did. I don't like the game, but I think I would like it better in the show way, if you know what I mean. Let it out. I tried. Maybe they're speeding running it. I hope not. I mean, that's
not.
Sort of the ish thing about the game is that it was 26 hours of just like Clockwork Orange style, just like your eyes spreading. You like just watch and play.
It was very well paced in the game. Very well paced.
It just, I think the hard part about it from a marketing standpoint, and again, they have to make this their own while also trying to convince HBO, like, how do we make sure we don't lose viewers? How do we make sure there's not any backlash from what the game had? Because from an optic standpoint, they're going to ask. They care about financial. They don't care about, like, the true nature of how the story was conveyed. So, truth be told, there may have been some conversations. They're like, look, how can you make sure we minimize damage when this moment happens? Because to me, what's going to be the real interesting part is on that 7th episode is how they end it, truthfully. Yeah. And regardless of if they paint this up looking really well, if they go back and forth from a nonlinear standpoint really well, it's going to be how it starts and how it finishes. And the 3rd season is going to be about how it begins and how it goes without Joel, or with him. I don't know. I think that's the thing. And I made a sentiment that, man, I guess this is the last time we're going to see Pedro Pascal on this show, because either one is going to start the new season with him and then he's gone, or he's already literally going to be gone and we start a season with just Ellie on her revenge trail. I just don't really know. But I think that is something that they had to think about from an optics standpoint when it comes to marketing this show, because HBO would probably rather have this show at least last 5 seasons. But truth be told, it's only going to be able to be carried for 2 seasons with the second game, which is why one of the questions I asked was that, how are you guys going to tell the story? If they told the story in a linear standpoint, there's 5 years worth of story that they could tell without going all through where we just saw in the trailer. But all that's going out the door. Like you can't do 7 episodes and then also put in 5 years that we don't know about.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. So I really wish they would have went that route, because there's a lot of story they could have told that we've never seen from the games, and it would have took a little bit more breathing time with if they go and do Abby's route, taking time with it as well. I just don't know how they're going to do this in 7 seasons, but
I guess if they're I don't know. I'm sort of thinking out loud here, but I guess if they're treating it like a 7-hour long film, I mean, I would not do this, but I mean, I guess if you put a gun to my head, I mean, the only real route to take is sort of think of it like a 7-hour long film, and from that perspective, I mean, it's possible. That's a stupid route to take, but I mean, it's possible, at least possible, or at least to tell half of it anyway. It's possible. Why you would do that, I don't know, but hey, at least it won't be boring. So, yeah.
Nerdgasm, Jeffrey. Nerdgasm. Yep. I did. Yep. I believe that RBR gets 2 seasons. That's not out of the realm of possibility. The game made me jump so many times. I only played it once. I am not a fan of being jumped scared. Hello. Fair.
I think for me, Sam was talking about, like, how are they going to end like the 7th episode? For me, it's about how are they going to it's funny that, like, we have not specifically talked about it. We've weirdly been talking around it, even though we're in the spoiler section. But I think how they handle Joel's death is the thing that they have to get right. I feel like if they don't get that right, it can make the difference between this being a successful show and a show that kind of just, it's like, oh, another video game adaptation gone to shit. So they kind of have, this is like a pivotal moment that they have to get right. I almost don't really care about the whole, what are the effects of the traumatizing audience? Like, what, that's not knowable. Neil Druckmann had no idea that people were going to react the way they did, and he was anticipating an intense response. Okay, so that part's unknowable. It just needs to feel accurate. Like, the one thing that I loved about the season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead is that it was not only done accurately, I personally think it was worse than what was on the page. Like, they really went they really went full out, and they kind of have to commit, like at the very least, like, people need to walk away with the same feeling as you did the game. It kind of doesn't matter if you have to kind of cut corners visually or something like that. Like, it still needs to feel the same way. So that part I'm kind of concerned about, because it's such an important. You can't fuck this part up. Okay, if you want to make like the sorry.
Go ahead, Drew.
Nah, it's just I have really strong feeling. Well, I guess we all do, but I have really strong feelings about this sequence. And it's like, you really cannot fuck this part up. You just can't do that.
So
If you want to like shorten the astronaut sequence, or like if you want to actually fuck up like Dina and Ellie or something, whatever. But this particular moment is like, this is a very pivotal thing. It's literally the driving force of the whole second goddamn game. All right.
Yeah.
So I just hope they know what they're doing, man. Just hope they know what they're doing.
So Ronan, as somebody that is traumatized by the game and doesn't like to play the game, unlike Jor-Els, what is your emotions about it? Because do you want them to change it, or do you want them to keep it exactly the same? I'm curious. I know how Jor-Els feels about it, but I'm curious about Ronan. Ronan, for all intents and purposes, does not want to necessarily just jump right back into the second game, even though he appreciates it.
Sure.
He is traumatized by it. So, Ronan, for you, do you want them to change it and tailor it to something different? Because that's what I'm curious about him.
Can I ask a clarifying question? What do you mean by change? What do you mean by change it? Because you can't skip it. So what do you mean by changing it?
They can control the narrative whatever way they want to.
Do you mean
the story itself, the way that
alternate
the story goes,
how it goes,
the way that the execution is, the way that everything complete. They could change it if they wanted to. I mean, it's literally the creator and Craig. So
what, like toning it down or something?
Just in general. Just in general, it depends on how people's perception is. A lot of people didn't feel the way you felt, Jor-Els. A lot of people, I felt the way you felt, but there's a lot of people that like, no, this is too much. I wish they would have changed this. Wish they would have changed that. And heck, even Hugh right now is like, don't kill Joel, just cripple him.
Well, we all know that's going to happen, correct?
But no, what I'm saying,
or do we feel differently?
She says that you know what he did, like
right. But what I'm asking is, Ronan, would you want them to change it? That's because that's what I'm really getting at. Because I don't want them to change it. I'm one of those ones like Jor-Els. I don't want them to change it. But if you do, I want you to say it, because there's going to be other people in the comment section that feel the same exact way. So, Ronan, the floor is yours.
Come on.
Yeah, it's your floor on this one. Walk the hell away.
Listen.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
When I finished it the first time, I was like, you know what they should have done? It should have been Joel versus Abby, and like Joel should have looked at Ellie one more time, and like he and Abby should have been like thrown off together off a bridge and just both fall down a huge ass building. It's like they're both dead, and like that would have been the way, almost the hero like going out like that. But like they said, this is not the type of world. It's not that type of story. Hi Darren, how you doing? Have they cast Mr. Brick and Mr. Balaton? Nice.
Well, I guess like to me, there's not a nice way. There's not a nice way of doing it. If you're gonna do it, you have to do it. There's no nice way of doing it. This is where I'm confused about where Sam's coming from. Like, it doesn't matter if you change the order of the events. It doesn't really matter if you tone down the on-screen violence, which would be weird, but the same takeaway is going to be there. Yeah, no matter how. So it's like, what are we really talking about?
It's to me like, even if they go almost frame by frame the way they did in the game, it's gonna give everybody a reason to be just as visceral as Ellie was the next day or the following, whenever she said, I'm going after her, and like, if you want to come with me, great. If not, oh well. To me, I don't know. Like to me, like, I know it's inevitable and it's HBO. If this is the same place that gave us the Red Wedding, small room, golf club, no problem. It's just, it's gonna be brutal. What's gonna be suck, because it's gonna happen. What's gonna suck is, when is it gonna happen? When we play on that first episode and we start covering it for all y'all in this channel, for the whole time I'll be like, is it happening now? Is it happening in this episode? How long? How much more longer do I have to wait to like just get it out? And it's gonna suck for them, for the marketing wise, because it's just like, Pedro, how do you feel about the season? And it's just like, I don't know. To me, it's just, if you're gonna go hard, if you're gonna go brutal, faithful to the game with that scene, it better be as beautiful and harmonic with the museum scene. Like that's the thing. If you want to go full HBO with that scene, you better go all the way again when it comes to the space shuttle and the museum and seeing the dinosaurs. Like that's the thing. Like there has to be a balance. You want to do that to that character? You want to do that to me? Okay, but you better give me that one. And they've been teasing it ever since season 1. You never been in a car? Oh, it feels like a space shuttle. And her talking about astronaut and whatnot. It's like they've been teasing it. It's been a layup in the making. But yeah, I've had ideas of like, no, Joel would still die, but he would go in a more Logan-esque way. Or like, don't be what they made you. And like he would have a heartfelt last moment with Ellie. That's to me, that's the perfect, sequence or version of this type of character, which is like a gruff old guy who did find some light at the end of his life. That's probably the way I would have gone out with it. But then again, like it's again, this is where they have to balance it out. Not even just in the brutal and beauty, but also what do you change? What can you alternate? And what can you keep? You have to keep faithful. For example, I think this is my speculation. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up in a minute. But when she says you swore, she knows what happened in the hospital. She finds out what happened, like in the game. And I don't think they're outside the hospital. I think they're right outside Jackson when she confronts him. And it's almost a very like bleak thing to say that like, oh wow, she's confronting him right outside the door of their safety zone. And it's threatening him to tell her to like flat out admit what he did. And they're like, I'll go back right through those doors. Or you don't, you keep telling me this BS and I'll just walk off somewhere else. So I think they're already changing it. Like they're already changing the execution of it in other realms.
Sure.
Like to me, the kiss with Dina, I know that's probably right after the mask of like, I'm immune. And she realized, wait, what? Ellie's immune? But then again, there's so much space they're showing us that we haven't seen before. A moment with Joel looking at Ellie's tattoo, like talking about the tattoo and why probably she went out of voicing. We already know that they casted Kat in the show. For those who don't know, when they remastered or re-released part 2, they put in some sequences that were taken away that you can play or you can experience. One of them is that you meet this character that is hinted at in the game of Kat, which I think was Ellie's first girlfriend in Jackson. And she's the girl that gave Ellie the tattoo of the moth covering her clicker bite. And so like they're already expanding on the world and the story. And I'm very, very... I can't wait to hear that podcast of after every episode. Like, okay, how did you get to this sequence? And they break it down in a commentary way. But I don't know, man. I'm nervous. You saw me, dude. I jumped for the space shuttle. Imagine if they're already showing shots of what happens before they get to the moment. Joel slamming the door in the cold, riding the horses. Like we already seen shots of Tommy going back to Maria with like a mark, like a cutout mark on his eye where he's bleeding down. That's very much probably the headbutt from the revolver he gets in the scene. Like I'm already going like, oh fuck, that's right before, or oh fuck, that's probably right after. And so I'm gonna need therapy.
I think I don't know. There's, like I said before, like there's not a nice way of think of giving the audience, Abby brutally killing Joel. There's not really like a nice way of doing that. Even if you did some shit where, I don't know, it was kind of like you're mostly seeing off-screen shots and you're just hearing like Joel like begging for his life and like the swinging of the club or something like that. Even if it's something like indirect like that, it's still really traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And dude, they already showed something cool. They showed Eugene walking. It's probably before the events of the game, and you see right behind him Joel, and he's putting up his rifle, and I'm like, what does that mean? What is that significant? What is that implying between Eugene and Joel? Because Eugene knows in the games he knew Tommy from their Fireflies days. That's where the connection is with Jackson and later on with Ellie and Dina. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna see. Hold on. I'm gonna get rid of these tabs, Sam. I'm gonna pull up I'm gonna share mine so I can go through just a few shots from the trailer. What the hell? Okay. Shit.
Did we lose him?
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some shots from the game.
Sure.
That again they're echoing stuff to come down that I don't know if that was written beforehand or if there's something they saved for the show. What do you think? Are you excited for the new stuff, or you're like just get the stuff I know right?
Like the therapists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for all of it. I'm definitely particularly nervous about the therapist thing, actually, because that's like a wild swing, like new edition. And it's like I don't know, like would Joel Miller really have went to therapy? I don't know if I'd buy that, but I'm curious to see how the show swings it.
I think a lot of people go to therapy, and even if you've seen, it's another show that's on Disney Plus right now we can't talk about, but there are plenty of people through history, right, to appease their significant other or child or whoever to show that they're going to be willing to put in the work, that'll do it even if it's not something that they believe in or want to do. And that may be the situation for him, is that he wants to show like, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to do this. Or he might be trying to tell that to himself. But I think that it would make sense that he would do something like that to show like I've changed or I am changing, even if he doesn't really truly believe it. Because a lot of people through history have done the same exact thing. Like, yeah, I did therapy. I did it.
Yeah,
but not made a thing of it.
I mean, Joel kind of, I don't know. He kind of strikes me as the kind of person where, like, if he felt like he was being wronged, he would just like go kill the person in their house, maybe even eat lunch in person's house after he killed them, and then leave. He's like kind of strikes me as one of those people. So I guess it depends on how they execute it, but I think that's a weird sentiment. I don't know. I have a hard time. I don't know. It'd be like, Netflix's Punisher, like after a murderous rage, being like, I need to check myself into a therapist. Like, I don't know if I'm buying that. I don't know about that. But hey, it's all about the execution. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we're gonna have to ask ourselves: do we trust Craig and we trust Neil? Because going into the first season, a lot of us had trepidations and concerns. Could they even make this even be a possibility? Not let alone like could it be masterful, but could they even do it to it be good, right? And they all in all, no one can say this was not good. Some people can question was it great. Some people can question was it masterful, but the first season was absolutely good. No one can question that. And that was the first hurdle. Now, this is a whole nother beast because just how long the second game is. My concern, because it's non-linear, I just don't know how they're going to execute it within the amount of episodes they're trying to do it in. And it's no way it's not going to be 2 seasons. There's no way. And my question that I put for Neil, I can't remember what exactly I said, but it was something along the lines of like, have you thought about the process of how you're going to move forward with this after the story of the second game is told? Like, because that's not the end. Like, there's more story. Are you going to stop there? Or are you going to continue to write and let the show carry itself? Or will you need to stop and pivot and do a game? Like, what are you really going to do once you told the story of the second game? But again,
Well,
it was an amazing trailer.
Yeah, I mean the trailer was great. I don't know. They're playing with my soul here, with my heart.
Oh, dude. Speaking of playing with the soul, again, look at that. Like, fuck, man. Like, I was like, oh no. And then look at this, Sam. Tell me if I'm going crazy. I told this to Jor-Els that like, I wonder if they're gonna play with like the origin of Abby's hammer, if you will. Like, look at this.
They absolutely are. They absolutely.
Like, look at that. That is Abby's hammer. Like, there's no way like that's not happening and whatnot. Like,
yeah, they're definitely gonna go that route for sure.
Like, look at that. Like I was. Oh man. Like, what else? Yeah, seeing Jesse and Ellie, like that's probably right before she gets on the boat and has to go through downtown Seattle to get to the pier.
Sure.
What else?
I'm really excited. Yeah. That in fairness, like it was subtle. I definitely missed that shot on the first time through.
Yeah, like look at that, man. Like, oh man. What else? I mean, seeing a spores, like.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the spores, but yeah, that's very cool though. That's
so
cool.
nerdy that I'm like, yay, spores and whatnot. And,
I hope this is really nerdy. I hope the spores are actually something that's like in camera, you know. I guess if you have to do it in post, whatever. But it would be a lot cooler if you pulled off the spore effect, like practically in camera. That'd be really cool, especially from a lighting standpoint.
Yeah, and then you see Eugene there, and like again, why is Joel holding a gun to him? Like what is that about?
Or at least we think. At least that's what they want you to think. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that look of. And then you see Theo Tommy taking care of business.
That was a great shot.
Oh my god!
I'm really excited about the. I think the second thing that I feel like they really need to get right, outside the death sequence, is Ellie and Dina. I think they really need to nail that. Which seems like they might, but they really need to bring that one home. That's a very like crucial part of the story.
Yeah,
very
because
crucial.
Because people had issues with him, but I was so thankful that they were there for Ellie. Like without hesitation, she's like, "All right, you want to go to Seattle? Let's go get him." And it's just like right at that. I mean, later down the line, she said something that I forget why would you say that, Dina, but like it was. This is again another thing of like, oh my gosh, she knows, and it's probably either him admitting it or not. I don't know.
By the way, just a theory. Just a theory. I wonder, because obviously, the trailer confirmed we're going to be seeing flashbacks, like the museum. But I wonder, like, will there be aspects? Because it's Pedro Pascal. Like, you want to have him around, whether he's alive or not. You want him around like as long as possible. You know what I mean? It's Pedro. Be like if you had Denzel Washington. You want Denzel Washington around as much as you want. As you can in your show. So I wonder if maybe they'll include maybe like a ghost of him or something. Like I wonder if she'll see like some kind of strange like hallucinations of him, maybe. Like the moment where she says that you swore or something like that. I can't remember what she said verbatim, but she said something like that. And maybe it is just me. It's just a theory. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But my first thought was like, what if like he's already dead at this stage, and she's like speaking to like a memory or like a hallucination. Never know,
Bro.
You know,
On her way to Seattle, she's just like his conscience or her thought of his conscience being there, just be like, Ellie, please don't do this, just let it go. And be like, no, you swore. And like,
yeah,
dude, my idea I had after I finished the game, I'm like, you know what they should have done instead of this is that to even fake it more on us and be like, is he gone or not? Is like have Joel throughout the game more and almost be like he's on the road trip with Ellie, and that Dina and Jesse notice this, but they don't tell her that like, yo, he's not there. They let her process it because they realize he's not there, and she's just going through the process of like acceptance and whatnot. And like, the moment, it's in the video game trailer where you're like, what the hell are you doing here? You think I let you do this on your own? Like that'd be her thinking her father wouldn't let her go on herself. And like, yeah, man, that has been a idea of mine of like, no, she's processing Joel and almost like having a forgiveness moment throughout the whole game with a conscience or her ideas of a conscience of how about their combo would be going, because they've been saying like she's a bullshit reader. She can tell when there's bullshit or not. It's like, well, she probably knows how a combo between them would have gone. And yeah, man, I think that would be dope, and that'd be heartbreaking as well. That like she's going through
right,
it, like, and be like,
right,
kid, yeah,
because there's only so many. Now that I think about it, there's only so many flashbacks that you could show. Unless you just like took like the museum flashback and just broke it up into 5 parts or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be like some way of like cutting corners around that, so because it's one big remix, right? So
yeah,
something to consider.
Yeah, what else is there? But yeah, April 13th, literally a month away.
Okay, so when are we gonna begin the screener?
I don't know. If that's a thing, who knows? I don't know.
It's gotta be coming like within like the next 2 weeks, right? Basically.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. HBO, if you're watching this, we would love to cover the show. We are gonna cover the show either way. But if you want to be we want to have a little collaboration, feel free to hit us up on the socials. We'll be happy to talk with y'all. If Neil Druckmann, Craig Mason, Pedro Pascal, Della Ramsey, the rest of the cast and crew want to talk to fans, want to interact, want to have engagement here, I would be honored to have you on the podcast and just geek out and have like almost cast commentary about an episode. Because for those who don't know, besides this stream, we have on my channel, I created a podcast called Bottles and Bricks, a Last of Us podcast that Sam is the co-host with, that Jor-Els has shown up more than once, and that we talk about news and stuff coming about the Last of Us world. And I know for damn sure that what we're going to do is that as of now, the idea is that every Sunday, a new episode is going to be dropping from the 13th onwards for 7 weeks. A new episode is going to be dropping every Sunday. And so what we're going to do is that the following day on Monday, we're going to give you all the night and the morning to process what you've seen. And then that evening, late afternoon or early moment of the night, we're all going to have a stream on the channel. We're going to have people, hopefully, that haven't played the game, people that have played the game, and see how that interaction, juxtaposition, engagement is going to be. And if you're intrigued, you can show up on the comments. Let us know your feelings and thoughts on the episode. If you have anything else to say, share with us. Have a good engagement interaction with us. And I don't know. To me, that's something I was proud of in season 1, is that we had that engagement. And so for those who don't know, Bottles and Bricks, the Last of Us podcast, that's the podcast that we do. We'll be bringing that back on a weekly basis as best as we can. That first week, it's going to be chaotic because right after the episode drops, not too long after, I'm traveling overseas. And so for those first 2 weeks, I'm going to have to be mobile. And so me and Sam are going to have to like co-host, run the ship until I'm fully back into my office setting, if you will. But yeah, I am right now. I've been bugging a lot of people. I'm like, hey man, we need to talk about this or whatnot. And for folks, I don't know when we're going to wrap this up, but please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the enthusiasm, y'all. If you know a content creator who's a big Last of Us fan, let them know that we have this podcast. And depending, I'll check out their stuff. And if I dig what they're bringing to us, please let them know about the podcast so we can maybe potentially have them on. And again, spread the the connection we have with each of us here as fans and go worldwide. I want to meet people in Japan. I want to meet people in Latin America. I want to meet people in Europe who are Last of Us fans and have them on. Hopefully time zones can work out well, and have an engagement in different languages or in different ways to communication. That way everybody can have a chance at the podcast, because I think that's so much an echo of the world. And again, this show and these games have only focused on what's happened in the US for the most part. There's been hits where the incident happened, but I'm wondering, how did Mexico, how did El Salvador tackle Outbreak Day? How did Tokyo, how did England, how did London, how did Barcelona handle the outbreak? So I'm very interested to see how the fandom has their own corners and how they would have dealt with it and whatnot. But yeah, I am so pumped. It's going to be a chaotic schedule because, again, there's a lot of stuff dropping around at the same time. We got Devil May Cry from Netflix. We have Lazarus from the creator of Cowboy Bebop dropping another anime. We have Andor Season 2 that I'm going to be covering on the show as well. Currently, we're covering Daredevil Born Again. So it's a lot coming down the pipeline. And yeah. Oh, you know what we should also talk about that they haven't hinted at? I think Gustavo Santolaya's music, right? That score for that soundtrack from that game. Different tone and instruments you use for that game, for that story. That I can't wait to hear people listen to Reclaim Memories. I can't wait for people to hear Beyond Desolation. Like, I want to see what they think of those tracks and what they take away from them, like I did. But what about you, Jor? Are you pumped for the music that Gustavo's
please correct me if I'm wrong. But I just hopped on Google and they're saying that Gustavo, they're saying that he did music for Babel from 2006, Brokeback Mountain, and the Motorcycle Diaries. Mm-hmm. If that is accurate, that is completely insane, because these are excuse me, these are three films that I love dearly. Particularly Babel. Jesus Christ, if he did the music, actually I'm about to fact check this, because what? That is outrageous. Babel is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. This is not even something that I knew. This is not something that I knew. Oh my God, it really was by him. Jesus Christ. Yeah, if you have not seen Babel with Brad Pitt, it's a glorious film, but the music is sensational. Same thing with Brokeback Mountain. The music, the guitar work is just haunting the shit. Same thing with the Motorcycle Diaries about Che, I believe.
Che Guevara.
Yeah.
And I think Fidel Castro at one point makes a cameo, or like he's probably with them and whatnot. But yeah,
something like that. I haven't seen that film in so many years, but the music there was great as well. So yeah, great composer. My God, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm curious about what they're going to do musically with season 2, because season 1 was pretty great in that regard musically. I'm so nervous for season 2, man. That's really my biggest takeaway, is that I'm cautiously optimistic it's hard for me because what did you give season 1? I can't remember.
I
What,
think
like
I
what?
gave it. I think I gave it a either 9 or 10 out of 10. Like I really fucking dug it. Like, but then again, that was before Fallout, and then I saw Fallout, and I was like, woof. I'm like, this is up there with The Last of Us, with HBO's The Last of Us. So,
Fallout, I still need to finish, ironically.
so
Which is
good.
interesting because it's from Jonathan Nolan and somebody. I can't
His
remember.
partner
But,
slash wife, I think. Yeah,
oh, yeah. Because they were like a duo with
literally the
Westworld.
team from Westworld. Yeah.
Which fair enough.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree, Taco. I also want Gustavo a cameo in Jackson, him playing the banjo like in the game. And I also want to talk to Gustavo Santolaya on the podcast. That'd be another being like, holy shit.
that would be huge. I would immediately ask him questions about Babel and Brokeback Mountain, like immediately. Those would probably honestly be like my first questions because I love those films dearly, and musically they are incredible. I'm not playing around. If you have not listened to the soundtrack to Babel, like my God, it is incredible. It is incredible. Score, soundtrack, whatever, it's incredible. Jesus Christ.
What's another thing that I want to see out of season 2? I think
Let me think. How season 2? Ooh, did we see the farm? Did they show the farm in the trailer?
no, but they did.
They didn't.
No, they didn't show the farm, but either in the trailer or in photos. And you know what? I'll even try to look them up. In photos, we already saw a shot of inside Joel's house.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think they showed like an outside shot of Joel's house. I think, like
from the outside, yeah. From the very first footage, we did see that. But like, there was one with shoot, there was there was a shot of like Craig and Neil directing, I think, and it was with Pedro inside his house, and I think I'm pretty sure it was from his workshop office where he's making the wood stuff.
Okay. Yeah, Joel's house.
Yeah, dude, that's a whole nother. Like, imagine if we spent time in that house. Imagine, dude, like before shit hits the fan. Like,
do you think it's a house that like they found, or do you think it's a house that they built?
I truly don't know, because from season 1, the opening with Ellie's mom Anna, we thought that was the house because I'm like, yo, that looks just like the house from part 2 and whatnot. So I'm not 100% sure about it. Very intrigued to see. Go ahead.
Well, I was about to say they should have it in budget to like sort of artificially make the house, because you're filming it in very specific angles anyways. So I don't know, kind of makes me wonder if they would be so bold as to make it like quite literally the house from the game by just building it.
Yeah. That'd be kind of poetic and sad because, you know, what happened at the end.
Right. But the farm. So we there's no shots of the farm in the trailer, correct?
As far as I know, no. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Well, then that would be a huge thing. I would want to see the farm. Jesus Christ! Like same thing. Like, did you guys build the buildings? Like, where is the location? You know, is it a practical location? I almost feel like it would kind of have to be, because I don't know why you would try to choose like a totally different looking terrain. You would try to find a terrain that looks similar. So maybe they went out to like Wyoming or something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm curious about like the farm. I would love to know what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm very, and I want to see if they're going to answer how far is it from Jackson. Because remember, they wanted to put distance between them and the town after what happened in Seattle. So I'm very intrigued to see if it's being incorporated either now or later down the season, which I'm betting it's probably later down the season. And how much more stuff they're gonna share. Like, I think right now, Young Mazzino showcase that he had been through a lot of trauma and like a lot of stuff that happened to him before he's in Jackson. So I'm like, did he lose his family before Jackson? Because in the game, he has family in Jackson, and at one point the family wants Ellie and Dina back, closest them and whatnot. So I'm very, very interested to see what else there's an enhancement or alternative take for them that they can use to tell this version of this story and this medium or not. But like, look at this shot. Like, look at that, man. Like,
Okay.
oh shit. Like behind them is probably like a row of guitars that he's made for the town and whatnot. Like again, I mean, you guys were asking me about that scene. How much more time I'm gonna spend in Jackson? Like, let me live a little bit with this man as a citizen of Jackson and see how that he is with the community.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Because like you know what? This is interesting. I don't know how deep I looked into the making of. I don't think I really looked into the making of into season 1. That's interesting. Anyway, because I was about to say, like, I don't know how they went about Jackson. It seems like Jackson is just a place that they built. Am I wrong about that?
Well, it had been near a dam, and then by that point, in the game, Maria and her family started building it up. But I think in the show, it's in a similar dynamic between Tommy and Maria, and
yeah, for the show, like did they practically make Jackson?
I think maybe a quarter or half of it. I think they probably went to some town and whatnot and shot some stuff, but I wouldn't put it past it because again, that was one of the first things I saw of set photos of season 1. I'm like, wait, that's Jackson. Why the fuck is Jackson in season 1? Like that's season 2 stuff, and it's like, well, we're changing it. Instead of the dam, we're getting Jackson.
Yeah. There's probably some VFX involved, but also, just like in. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Another fellow Last of Us fans showed up. ¿Qué pasa?
What's up, boys?
Busy coming,
boys.
Busy showing up last minute.
Dog, no, I haven't. I was gonna let you guys watch it for a 10th time with me for the first time.
You haven't seen the trailer?
Nah, I was gonna join you guys, but you guys ended up watching it right before I got home, and I was like, fuck it. I'm not gonna join and make them watch it 2 minutes like later. I know you probably would have, but I don't think I'll do it. So if Sam ends up coming back, we can watch it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So before, okay, so don't look at the comments. How before you've seen it?
Wait, Joel? No, I'm playing. What about
it? How are you feeling before you see the footage? How are you feeling about season 2? Because we're a month away.
I'm gonna watch it either way. I mean, I feel like we've waited so long, so like the hype is still there. But I mean, I feel like compared to the first season, it was one of my most anticipated shows ever. Like season 1, but season 2 is coming around the corner, and I'm not saying like I'm still really excited for it, but I'm not like dying over it because I think like I'm really interested to see how they're gonna break it up into 2 parts. So I think I have more questions than anything, but I know I'm still going to enjoy it either way. I mean, I enjoyed the second game. I mean, it was depressing, but realistically, I think more of the gameplay was more my cup of tea, but the story had me. Oh, fuck. I'm not going to lie. I had trouble playing as a certain character for quite some time, but it was still interesting.
Yeah.
Not the easiest story.
Not at all. No. And then the ending had me pissed off too. We did not go through all that shit just to be like, you know what? Have a good one. Peace out.
I
at the same time, I did I liked it. It was just I think it's because we played for like 30 hours. I was just like, yeah, this is fucking like kind of annoying.
It's just such a I have so many interpretations of the ending of the game, but like it's I don't know. Last of Us is so hard to talk about because a lot of my favorite stories, they are like emotionally painful. So The Last of Us is like to the nth degree of like emotional damage. So it's hard to speak to people like struggling with that sentiment because some of my favorite stories are just emotionally painful. Yeah.
I'm trying to hit up Sam, see where he's at, or that if he wants to wait so busy go out there, because I want to see what he thinks about this trailer one now.
Gosh.
But yeah, I think for sure we're gonna have Busy back on the podcast when we're covering the show on a weekly basis on the streams. I kind of see if I can find a good balance of people who haven't played the game and people that have played the game, because I think that's cooking up to a fascinating.
That would make
dialogue.
the podcast difficult though, because we're not gonna want to spoil that shit for them.
Yeah.
Oh
If
yeah.
you like this episode, you're gonna hate next episode. Like we're not gonna we can't do any of that. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't ruin it for them. But it is always
Yeah.
good to hear a second perspective. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part I always struggle with. It's kind of like the Watchmen thing. It's like I don't know, like with the Watchmen movie, say, like a lot of people who love the movie, they didn't read the book, or they didn't read it first. They usually just didn't even read the book. And then there's like people like me who kind of struggle with the film because I love the book so much. That's definitely, well, especially with season 2, there's gonna be a thing here with The Last of Us. Jesus Christ, like it'll be interesting to see how people respond to that, even if they didn't play the game. That'll be curious. I don't know.
Let me call the homie, see where he's at.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully without folks, mind the comments just for a little bit. How's everybody feeling about the trailer and the panel? I think the panel was fun. It was a good way to get the word out the month away from the show. And I liked how well balanced they were about not revealing too much, because I wanted to bet a lot of those audience members had not touched the game at all. And so I'm very intrigued to see how the next few months marketing is going to go about and what they're going to choose to show in clips and whatnot. Because they're going to do that, right? Like, that they're going to start putting out stuff, and it's just like, I could tell you what that means because I know the context of it, but how are they going to showcase this at a whole nother ballpark? But yeah, are you intrigued by the marketing of the next few weeks, Jor-El?
I am. I am interested to see, like what they're gonna do for a next trailer, or like, I guess like little TV spots, whatever. That'll be interesting. I guess for me, I kind of have like a busy approach. It's sort of like I'm excited. I'm not like going like just losing brain cells because
we got enough to watch already.
It's such traumatizing material that I'm more so concerned about them getting it right episodically than I am whatever they're doing with the marketing. I almost don't really, I don't know. I'll watch it all, but I'm really just concerned about the story. I'm terrified about them getting the story right. Yeah, I'm sure the marketing will be fun, but this is one of those stories where it's like, listen, let's not play around. Like, I don't care if all the trailers were bad. Like, just these episodes need to be great.
Yeah. Oh man, the talk, the talk about just the runtime is just gonna be something interesting just to see the engagement. I'm just like,
right?
Why the fuck was this only 40 minutes, or why the fuck was it 1 hour and 30 minutes and stuff? And it's just like, oh, it's a lot. It's dense. The second game is that dense. Like how long did it take you to finish the game, Jor-El? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
God.
And I don't mean in-game hours. Like, we all know it's like a 26 to 30 hour
game.
But like time-wise in real world.
I might have to get back to you because unfortunately this was during like COVID days, and like I don't know, my memory is really weird from COVID season. So that's actually a great question though. I'd have to think about that because especially after Joel's death, everything became like a blur. Everything became like a blur. Like I almost just gave up on the game. Like I completely like disassociated. So that's a great question. I guess this will have been over a span of just a few weeks, I'm assuming, because I needed to know. But yeah, probably a few weeks. God, it really was traumatizing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I did. What did I do? I did. Came out on a Friday, I think, or a Thursday. So I'm pretty sure I did 4 days. I had to block it in 4 days because I was sharing it with someone else that I was living with was also playing the game. So we would do rotations. Okay, you do 8 hours, I'll do 8 hours. You do 6 hours, I'll do 6 hours. Going out like
Jesus.
for 4 days, and I think I've already told you this, but like one of my blood vessels in my popped, and so like there was
Jesus
a whole
Christ.
there was a whole day that I was stressed as fuck. There was a whole day like I had to just lay down and put just eye drops, just to be like, stay off the internet, stay off the internet. Okay, come on. I gotta get through this, and like, because again, it was no man's land. The leaks were out, and somehow I avoided them, and it's just like brutal, fucking brutal, man. But what about you, Busy? How long in our world time frame? How long did it take you to get through the game? Was it days? Was it hours? Was it?
I think it was like less than a week. I can't remember because I was streaming the first like big portion of it. So it was like when I first started like making content. So I think I have my reaction of the whole, big, of the Tiger Woods scene. But then after that, it was just like I was still I don't think I finished the game on camera though, but I got a majority of it on camera. So I think it took me about a week.
Nice. So what do you think? Should we keep waiting for Sam, or
he's not going to be here till 8:15? So if you want to bang it out to your call, I told him I don't mind waiting. So either way, I'm cool.
It's up to you, man. It's your viewing one. We've seen it. We've already given our thoughts. So
all right, yeah, I guess we can knock it out. I don't know.
Okay.
Don't want to pull him away.
All right, let's see. Okay.
Oh shit. Now it's officially real.
Yes.
It's
Let me know if you
real.
can hear it. I'm gonna play just a few seconds, okay?
I can hear it.
Yeah? Okay. So, folks, you're gonna get Busy.
Oh, yo,
Braun.
move my camera up on top of Sam's.
Let me see this.
I can't believe it's gonna be Busy's first watch. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was out with my mom getting lunch, so I was like, shit, I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah, I'll wait.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Let me know when you're ready.
Let's do it, King. There gotta be a bottle for her in this game. Oh shit. Oof.
You okay?
They even gave it a little. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, is this on them on their way to the museum?
This is where we live.
Ah, it's so cute, Jackson.
The fence.
What's inside?
Ah, it's so great.
People.
Oh,
What's outside?
Isabella, she's gonna kill it, girl. Abby. Ah! Nah. Scars, man.
By the time the sun comes up tomorrow,
Oh no, Jesse's gonna be. Oh, that's gonna be great.
there's a very good chance.
Wait, was that was the
the
museum?
You're gonna lose.
This is gonna be gorgeous. Holy shit.
Don't you know what he did?
Oh, that scene's gonna be so great.
You swore.
Fuck.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Holy
sir.
shit.
Yes, sir. You should have seen Ronan's reaction. It was
We got one of
outrageous.
the Big Bertha motherfuckers again, bro, because we barely got them in action last time. Oh wow, that scene with what's her name? In when of course Ellie takes her into the. I know they're not gonna do the spore situation. I wish they had spores in the show because that was one of my favorite things. The fact that she was able to breathe them in.
So
Did I miss something? Did they show fucking spores? Did they really? I totally missed it.
there's gonna be the spores are coming.
That's part of the scene. When
Yeah,
she's
the
spores
spores
are in
are
there
coming out.
and she's breathing that shit in and she's like,
Yeah, yeah.
you're her. Like that shit is so tough, dude. I
No,
totally missed that.
So the spores are coming. This was a big little moment during the panel.
Oh.
Yeah, so the spores are coming, my friend.
No way. That's gonna be so fucking cool. Is that spores coming out of her mouth, or is that the thing that you know how they have like that weird effect?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't even
'Cause
notice.
you remember
That's
Are you sure?
Yeah.
because you
That's
remember
not a
that weird
tendril.
okay, that's what I'm talking about, the tendril. Because you remember they had that weird effect when Tess turned, or when Tess was getting, and you saw like the tendril come out of her mouth, the mouth, and all that.
No, that
Wasn't
is
sure if
spores,
that's
my
what that
friend.
was.
That is
Okay.
spores.
What? There's spores in the air, but I think Busy might be onto something because there might be something protruding from the mouth. Or wait,
He's saying it's spores, but it looks like tendrils.
Play it through.
I don't think they're
Tap the screen, my
tendrils,
boy.
but I think
Right.
Hold on.
Yeah, go back like 10
Hold on.
seconds and play it.
Hold on.
He's like, no, we'll just restart the whole trailer.
Right.
Oh shoot.
There might be something protruding from the mouth, though. Oh, okay.
And it did look, yeah, it was
Word.
spores. It was spores.
Okay. It was a lot of spores.
Why
Jesus
question
Christ.
Ronan? But some of these shots are so good, bro. It's insane. Like just for a trailer too. Like this right here, bro. Like this is like clipped
The
perfectly.
subway sequence, man.
Bro, I'm so ready for this. But bro, that scene outside of Jackson when they were like, you see the explosions and all that crap. I don't remember that in the game.
No, that's new. That's new. That's
like all those zombies attacking the gate didn't happen. So I'm excited to see how they kind of tie that in. But I will say that shit looked like some Game of Thrones type stuff. The way the effects were, like the way that when Winterfell they were guarding the walls and you just see like the explosions and stuff with the walkers piling up on each other, like the White Walkers. That's what it looks like. Holy crap!
Is this true? Taco. Hold on. Joel's house is on Google Earth. No fucking way, it's not. If it is, I'm gonna go visit and be like, whoever lives here, can I please just hang out here for a bit? I need to put some flowers. No way, at least outside. But yes, trailer hype 100. Hey Mikey, what's up, man?
What's going on, Mike? Why isn't Mike in here? Shit.
I don't know if he was about one. I kept saying
he's too cool. Mike's too cool to join us.
Busy, but what did you think of the trailer?
That shit was fire, bro. Got me a little more amped for the Shadow Return. I mean, I'm still iffy. I'm still excited, but because it's not like you can wrap up the games are long, so it's really interesting to see how they wrap up everything in such a short amount of time. Like even with the first game, I was really impressed that they handled it so well. And I will say, even adding the Left Behind DLC, I think it was that was an interesting choice. Like making it an entire episode or putting it in the episode was still like. And the fact that they made it work, it was so good. It was good. I enjoyed it. So I'm really excited to see how they kind of handle this. And I know we're breaking it up into 2 seasons, which I think is going to be really interesting to see how people are going to be able to handle both sides of the story, if you will. Yeah. So I think it's a really interesting choice. I'm really hoping it's not a simple, hey, money grab. We can get more people if we make 2 seasons. Like let's stretch it out. I'm hoping that there's actually a really good attempt here to make this 2 seasons because they want this story to work. I'm hoping it's not a simple no, we can still manage to get this many viewers despite milking the fuck out of it. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they can pull it off. And I don't think I saw there's a specific scar I had in mind that didn't look like they made an appearance.
Levin or yeah.
So I don't know what we're doing there.
Yeah, the Die was here a little beforehand, and we were like,
"Oh yeah, I hate that I missed her."
Is Yaron Lev going to be in this? It's like, I don't know.
They might they're probably gonna hold back until season 3. I would imagine, because they have so much story to cover. It's kind of insane, actually. I just hope it's not like a Game of Thrones season 8 situation, where it's like the main beats are done like in fast forward for some bizarre reason. So hopefully it doesn't feel like the game but fast forwarded. Hopefully. That would suck, because 7 episodes is ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't.
Even if each episode was like 58 minutes, I would still be like, ugh. Like, I don't know. Like, can we really cram all this in? Like, I don't know.
What if no credits counted for? But what if each of the 7 episodes was an hour and a half long, solid? Oof. Because that technically would be what 3, 4 extra, about 3.5 to 4 extra episodes in current HBO runtime numbers within the 58-minute mark or hour mark.
Well, I mean, I know that one, the one gay episode was like really long, right? Wasn't it like an hour?
The Frank and Bill one.
Yeah, but like stereotypically, how long were the episodes? Did they hover
about
around
an hour? It was around the hour mark. Yep.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know. It's like, but then again, it's like, why even play that game? Just make it 10, 13 episodes, like a normal fucking, you know what I mean? Like, why even play that game? It's probably for, I don't know. It's not something I would have done. I can tell you that. It would have been a good, clean 10, 13 episodes if it were me. 100%.
Nice.
But
there is one element that I'm very intrigued to see if we're going to see in the show. There is again, as I had said beforehand, that in the remastered version of Part 2, they put in some levels, small amounts of stuff they cut out just for timing. One of them involved Ellie hunting. And it is a brutal, simple, yet bleak sequence that you can play in the remastered version of level. I'm wondering if that story is going to be in the Part 2 storyline with this season and the next probably 2 seasons onwards. And when we saw the Grounded 2 making of documentary of Part 2, they had said that there was a story written about Tommy that takes place after the events of Part 2. And I'm wondering if that, because I think we'll close out this stream pretty soon. And again, I just want to shout out everybody. Thank you so much if you've been staying with us since we started the stream. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the enthusiasm, go out, let people know we are live and we are talking Last of Us. But they said that there was a Tommy story after the Part 2. And I wonder if they're going to incorporate it to this interpretation of the show, because recently Neil Druckmann said, people asked him, what about Last of Us 3? And he flat out said, don't bet on it. That's what he said. Neil Druckmann said, don't bet on it. And now I'm like, wait, what the fuck? You just said that you don't have an idea, but you have a concept, and that there may be at least one more chapter to the story. So, what? You hear that, Jor-El? What are your thoughts of Neil Druckmann saying that? I don't know about Last of Us 3. I don't know about that. Because again, they flat out said we're not doing the Game of Thrones thing. We're gonna adapt what's already have in terms of material, and we're not gonna go ahead.
Will there be a Part 3 video game? That's what you're asking?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? That there may not be one.
It kind of feels like misdirection. Kind of smells like bullshit. No, I'm gonna be. Maybe that's coming out hot, but I'm being honest with you. I just, especially given past statements, I just.
Look at this.
It seems like.
But you swore, Neil. You swore.
It feels like misdirection. feels like a red herring. The Last of Us Part 3, it's like too juicy of an idea to be like, we're just gonna shelve it, and hopefully you like the show. Hey, it's time to move on. Like, I don't know if we're ready to move on, and I don't know that he is yet either. I don't know if I buy it. Time will tell, obviously, but I don't think I buy it. I don't think I believe you, Druckmann. I don't believe you.
What about you, Busy? What do you think of the prospect that Neo said that Last of Us 3? I don't know. Don't bet on it. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not getting my hopes up for that. I can't. Can't do that. I mean, we got 2 perfectly fine games, and I'm not gonna, because I feel like we're gonna watch some type of event, expecting some crazy announcement, and it's gonna be like the 4th remaster for the first game. Like I'm not doing this shit again. So I'm just gonna sit here and just, if it happens, so hell yeah. But if not, then I'm not getting burned again. So,
bro, it's so happening, bro. No way.
I mean, I don't know if it's needed. Like I don't want them. Like I don't want to get to the point where people were already so unhappy with the second game. I don't want to drop the 3rd one, and then people are just not happy with it. Like people are just gonna crap on it.
I mean,
I just don't want a Godfather Part 3 scenario. I don't want them to wait 2 decades and then be like, we got the 3rd one. It's just like, I
don't even think we need it. I'd love one. Don't get me wrong, but like, there's literally like,
we need it, man.
I'm not gonna listen to like just a bunch of people crapping on something because they don't like something.
Sure. But I guess like the fear of controversy aside, I personally feel like I kind of feel like I need some kind of at least further closure. Jesus Christ! I mean, I mean, I guess this could, our last moments, that could just be the end of the universe. But Jesus goddamn Christ, that's a harsh fuck. And that's not to say that Part 3 would be like, the ending of The Mummy, where we like literally ride off into the sunset. But god damn, it would be nice to have a little bit further closure, at least for me personally, to the universe, not even just Ellie's story, just to the universe.
I echo. At least for this angle of the universe, I think there's so much. And I don't want them to spin off so many shows and whatnot, but like, at least in my sense, is that like, if you want to continue this world, first have a bookend for Ellie and Joe's story, and then if you want, what I would do is like, then you start putting out novels, paperback novels of like The Last of Us. Again, what I've been saying, Tokyo Under Siege. Or like what happened in Tokyo with the outbreak, or Dia de los Muertos outbreak day of what happened in Mexico when outbreak day happened and whatnot. Like once you settle the stuff with Joe and Ellie, if you want to expand upon the world and again, you don't have to do games or shows or movies. I think people still underestimate what novels and what comic books can do nowadays with expanding a world. And I've been saying for the longest, like, if you're not going to give me another game, please give me something in a comic or in a novel. Like, I will go out of my way to buy the hardcover and the paperback versions as many times as you need me to do it, just so that like Jor-Els was saying, closure for me. Because I don't think I have full closure by the time I finish Part 2. I was like, okay, I still have a lot to deal with, and we have to like finish this conversation, but it's not a closure for me, at least.
I will say, to Busy's point, though, I mean, it is difficult to sort of imagine how much more to Ellie's story there really could be. Like, this bitch is just missing fingers and everything. Man, oh man. Like I have floated out the concept of almost like I don't know, like an old man Logan-ish style story with Ellie. I think that could be exciting, if we fast forward and Ellie is like oh man, this kind of just gave me goosebumps. But if we could sort of fast forward and Ellie is Joel's age when he died, I'm just saying. I think there's a lot there. Just saying.
And maybe she finds someone else who's immune, and it's put in the same scenario of Joel's shoes of like, are you gonna let this kid live, or are you gonna take them somewhere where they can be the messiah for the world and whatnot? And like to me, at one point, I want that, but I just want Ellie to be like, I understand now. I understand Joel. Like, and like even if someone from her past like calls her out, like you have nobody, you know, you had no mother, you had no father, and I just at one point, again, this is me being a nerd, but I want her to pull a Spider-Man moment and be like, I had a father. His name was Joel Miller. We just blow someone's heads off one eye. Like, I want that. And be like, fuck yeah, you did. I was there. I was at the, you know, and like, yeah, man, I'm already picturing, you know, Ashley Johnson back in the saddle one more time, and you hear in the background, I hurt myself the other day. Playing that Johnny Cash song. Yeah, and just like, yeah, man.
Like what's going on with the kid? What's going on with Dina? Like, do we get some kind of semblance of like, is the world just permanently fucked, or is there like a ray of hope for like a cure? I don't know.
And I think for people who like part 3, last of part 3, I want that, but I also am aware that right now Naughty Dog's focus is Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. I know that right now that's their focus, and I don't blame them for wanting to take a little break from the Outbreak world. Like, again, we saw the documentary. We know what a toll that was, that experience, and how they've been.
Well. Saddle up, boys. Saddle up, boys. We're going back. We're going back to the fucking apocalypse. Don't give me this intergalactic bullshit, all right? We're going back to the fucking apocalypse, okay? Get the spores ready. Shit. Ridiculous.
And I want us. This is just me being a guy who's very, I guess, poetic and like melancholy or whatever. Like, I want us to be, all 4 of us and some other friends, like Die as well. I want us to be like at a PlayStation experience or like a video game conference, and then someone from Sony says, there's one more thing. And then they just turn off the lights, they play some footage, and you see this old lady with a guitar walking about, and you see a revolver being pulled out, and it just cuts to Last of Us Part 3, and you hear a little string of Gustavo's guitar, and just like, that's it. It's happening. And then I'll be like, oh my God, we're doing it.
I think, you know, if season 2 hits I think it probably will, like huge ratings, big critic ratings, big viewership, blah blah blah. I feel like around episode 7, I think we're gonna hear a little something from Druckmann. That'd be my conspiracy theory. Just a hunch.
On the record, we have it here that like if it might happen, Jor-Els called it.
I think it kind of has to happen, you know. It's kind of like with the Christopher Nolan and James Bond. Will that ever happen? I mean, it's at least a maybe. It's a maybe. The odds are not great, but it's a maybe.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna wrap things up. We've been going for almost 3 fucking hours. But I've had a blast. Even though half of it, my brain was scrambling and I was like in pure denial, like, hey man, I need medicine, man. But folks, endure and survive, y'all. Like, this has been just a blast. Like, the fact that at least one person bothered checking this out is just, that's ridiculous to me. Like, I still can't believe that people were intrigued to see our thoughts and hear our thoughts on The Last of Us and whatnot.
Of course.
Jor-Els, hermano, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to geek out about Last of Us once again. Plug yourself, man. Tell what you're cooking up, what you're working on, and where people can find you.
It's like I always say, it's on the screen. As you see it there, Jor-Els Alexandria. That's my main hub or YouTube channel. Do like reviews, a little bit of reactions. Mostly is movie related stuff, TV show related stuff. I got some big projects on the way, so you can find me there.
Beautiful. Hermano.
You can find me at Busy Braun, and then of course over here doing reactions, then on Team JVS doing reviews.
Beautiful. Folks, what's gonna happen in April? Sounds like looks like a slow.
No, I don't think we're
slow
doing anything. Yeah,
nothing.
it's gonna be
Nothing.
lame, bro.
These next 8 to 9 weeks are gonna be atomic, y'all. Nuclear. You're gonna want to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to their channels because they got gold cooking up in the pipelines. But subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the enthusiasm. Make sure the folks at Naughty Dog and HBO see this stuff. Make sure that other fellow Last of Us content creators see this stuff and share that there is a beacon. There's a light, a watchtower throwing up a signal of like, light it up. Just like it, we are Last of Us fans. We want to hang out. We want to talk to y'all. Yeah, man. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
I can't.
But yeah.
I can't believe we've been going for 3 hours. It's crazy.